A lot of people over 50 drink tea every day thinking it's a healthy habit. But here's the part most folks don't realize. Some teas do far more than calm your nerves. In fact, there's one overlooked tea made from the leaves of a tropical fruit called pitanga that's been quietly helping with digestion, joint pain, and even blood sugar balance. But most Americans have never even heard of it. And while you're dealing with slow mornings, nagging stiffness, or sugar crashes after lunch, this little red fruit's leaves could be making a difference in the background. If only they were part of your routine. The real danger is not that pitanga tea is risky. It's that skipping it might mean missing out on a gentle, natural way to ease many of the daily health issues that show up after 50. Studies and generations of traditional use point to some powerful effects, from anti-inflammatory compounds that ease joint pain, to antioxidants that protect your cells, to vitamins that give your immune system a real lift. In this video, we're going to walk through 15 specific ways pitanga leaf tea can support your health and energy, especially as your body changes with age. You'll learn how it can help with bloating, blood pressure, circulation, and even post-meal blood sugar spikes. We'll also talk about when to drink it, how much is safe, and how to blend it into a lifestyle that keeps you feeling steady, not sluggish. If you're looking for something simple, natural, and rooted in both tradition and science, this might be the one tea that deserves a permanent place in your day. Let's take a closer look at what this tropical leaf really does once it enters your body. You know, most folks over 50 have their favorite teas. Some drink green tea for antioxidants. Others swear by chamomile to help them sleep better at night. And then there are those who just enjoy the comfort of a warm cup after dinner. But very few have ever heard of pitanga leaf tea. And that's a bit surprising because for something so simple, it quietly holds a lot of promise. Pitanga, sometimes called Suriname cherry, is a small red fruit found in tropical regions. But what many people don't know is that the leaves of this tree are just as powerful, maybe even more so, than the fruit itself. These leaves have been used in traditional medicine for generations in places like Brazil and the Caribbean, often brewed as an herbal tea to support everything from digestion to immunity. But in the US, it's mostly unknown, especially among seniors who could benefit from it the most. It's not in grocery store aisles, it's rarely talked about in wellness circles, and most doctors don't bring it up unless you ask. So why does this happen? Well, sometimes the simplest natural remedies don't get the spotlight because they're not part of a big brand, they don't have flashy ads, and they aren't sold in fancy packaging. And yet, many people over 50 deal with daily struggles like inflammation, blood sugar spikes, poor circulation, low immunity, or just that sluggish feeling that starts to creep in as we age. Pitanga leaf tea, while not a miracle, might offer gentle support in all those areas, and all it takes is a cup a day. The leaves are rich in vitamin C, flavonoids, and other natural compounds that help reduce oxidative stress in the body. That means they may help protect your cells from aging too quickly. And here's the part most people miss. Pitanga isn't some rare exotic plant that's hard to get. You can find the dried leaves online, and the tea is easy to make. But because there's not a lot of awareness in the US, it often gets overshadowed by trendier herbs with better marketing. Seniors especially tend to stick with what they know. If they've never heard of pitanga, they simply don't consider trying it. And that's understandable. But it also means many are missing out on a natural, low-risk way to feel better day by day. What makes this tea special is how gently it works. There are no energy crashes, no strange aftertastes, and no complicated instructions. Just steep the leaves like any herbal tea and sip slowly. The flavor is mild, a little earthy, with a clean finish. It won't overpower your palate, and it's easy to pair with other healthy habits, like a walk in the morning or a light dinner in the evening. For people dealing with multiple medications, that's another reason why pitanga tea is so worth learning about. Unlike some supplements that interact poorly with prescriptions, pitanga tea is generally well tolerated. Of course, anyone on medication should check with their healthcare provider, but when used in moderation, the tea has shown very few side effects. What we've seen in early studies, mostly small but promising, is that pitanga leaves may help reduce inflammation, lower oxidative stress, and support metabolic function. That's good news for the immune system, joints, and even blood sugar control. And if you think about it, that covers a lot of what people over 50 care about. Less stiffness, fewer colds, and more balanced energy after meals. And here's another reason this tea hasn't caught on widely. There's not a single big health issue it targets. Instead, it touches several smaller ones. It's not marketed as a blood sugar solution or a sleep aid or a digestive fix. But in reality, it may offer support in all those areas in subtle, gradual ways. That's why it gets overlooked. People search for bold fixes, but sometimes what the body really needs is a soft nudge in the right direction. Imagine a day when your stomach feels calm after lunch, your knees feel just a little looser going up the stairs, and your energy doesn't dip so hard in the afternoon. That's the kind of quiet help pitanga tea might offer, not a magic bullet, but a companion to better days. And while science is still catching up with tradition, the experiences shared by people who drink this tea regularly are hard to ignore. In Brazil, many seniors include pitanga leaf tea as part of their wellness routine, not because it's trendy, but because they've seen how it supports their body over time. As the tea gains more recognition here in the States, more seniors may begin to explore it as part of a daily health ritual. But for now, the lack of awareness means most are simply missing the chance to try it. That's why conversations like this matter. When we uncover something overlooked, something that's been quietly helping others for years, it gives us a new option to consider. And that's what this video is about, helping you discover those options in a simple, thoughtful way. So now that we've opened the door to pitanga tea, let's take a closer look at what exactly is in those leaves and how they may help slow down aging, one cell at a time. If you've ever looked in the mirror and noticed more lines, looser skin, or just the tired feeling in your bones, you're not alone. Aging is a natural part of life, but for many people over 50, the goal isn't to stop the clock, it's to slow it down just enough to feel like yourself again. That's where pitanga leaf tea enters the conversation in a very gentle way. What makes this tropical leaf so unique isn't just its history in traditional medicine, it's the science behind how it supports your body at the cellular level. You see, as we age, our bodies naturally produce more free radicals, those unstable molecules that damage cells, speed up aging, and increase the risk of chronic conditions like arthritis, memory loss, and heart disease. This process, known as oxidative stress, is one of the quietest but most powerful forces behind premature aging. And that's exactly where pitanga leaves can offer support. These leaves are packed with antioxidants like flavonoids, anthocyanins, and vitamin E, natural compounds that help neutralize those harmful free radicals before they cause too much damage. Think of antioxidants like a gentle team of cleaners going through your body every day and tidying up what the environment, stress, poor diet, or just time has left behind. One of the most valuable things about pitanga leaf tea is that it delivers this antioxidant power in a mild, easy-to-absorb form. Unlike harsh supplements or complex formulas, this is simply a cup of herbal tea that works quietly in the background, giving your body a chance to repair itself in ways that often go unnoticed: better skin texture, improved energy, even more mental clarity over time. Seniors who drink antioxidant-rich teas regularly often report not just fewer sick days, but also a general feeling of being sharper and more in tune with their body. Pitanga tea might help in the same way. It doesn't rush the process, but it gently supports the systems that age tends to wear down. There's also early evidence that pitanga leaf extract may support collagen production, which is important for keeping skin firm and joints flexible. That's especially helpful for those who feel their skin has become more fragile or their knees creak a bit more with each passing year. While the studies are still developing, what's promising is the plant's high concentration of polyphenol. These are compounds found in many natural foods that are linked to long-term health, including protection against neurodegenerative diseases and certain types of cancer. What's remarkable is that something so simple, a leaf, can offer so much cellular defense without any synthetic chemicals or side effects. It's nature doing what it does best, one sip at a time. And let's not forget the emotional benefit of aging gracefully. Feeling good in your skin, waking up with a little more energy, and knowing you're taking care of your body in small, consistent ways, that peace of mind matters just as much as physical health. Many older adults find that building a gentle habit like tea drinking helps them reconnect with self-care in a way that doesn't feel forced or stressful. Pitanga leaf tea, in that sense, becomes more than a beverage. It becomes a quiet ritual, a few minutes carved out each day to do something kind for your cells, your skin, and your future self. And the taste makes it even easier to stick with. Unlike bitter herbal blends, Pitanga tea has a soft, clean flavor. No sugar needed, no honey required, just warm water and a few leaves, steeped slowly. Add to that the satisfaction of knowing you're feeding your body antioxidants, and it turns into a very rewarding part of your routine. When we talk about slowing down aging, we're not chasing youth, we're preserving quality of life. And Pitanga leaves seem to offer exactly that, a subtle but steady defense system that supports your health from the inside out. That's why it's such a shame more people over 50 haven't heard of it. It's affordable, easy to use, and carries fewer risks than many popular supplements. And even though the large-scale studies are still catching up, the early evidence is enough to make it worth exploring, especially if you're already building a lifestyle around healthy habits like movement, good sleep, and balanced meals. Now, we've looked at how Pitanga tea may help your cells age more gracefully. But what about the gut? Up next, we'll explore how this tea plays a gentle but important role in supporting digestion, something that matters more than ever as the years go by. There's something so familiar about the discomfort of bloating after a meal. It starts as a little tightness in the belly, maybe a feeling of fullness that sticks around too long, and before you know it, your whole evening feels heavy. For many people over 50, this isn't just an occasional issue, it becomes part of daily life. The body digests more slowly with age. Enzymes may be less active and the gut lining less efficient. That's why simple meals can feel heavier, and even healthy foods sometimes leave you feeling uncomfortable. This is where Pitanga leaf tea begins to show another one of its quiet strengths. While most people think of digestion in terms of fiber or probiotics, Pitanga tea brings something different, a natural group of plant-based compounds that work behind the scenes to ease the digestive process. In traditional herbal practices, Pitanga leaves have long been used to support smoother digestion. The tea has mild astringent properties that help regulate the function of the stomach and intestines. It gently stimulates the production of digestive juices like bile and enzymes without being too aggressive or irritating. Think of it like warming up a stiff muscle, not forcing it, just encouraging it to move the way it's supposed to. And when digestion works better, bloating often fades. Many people who drink Pitanga leaf tea report feeling lighter after meals with less gas and less uncomfortable fullness. The tea seems to help the body process food more completely, which is especially important for seniors who may eat smaller portions but still feel sluggish afterward. What's more, Pitanga tea doesn't interfere with the body's natural rhythm. Unlike harsh laxatives or supplements that push the gut too hard, this tea acts more like a friend to your system. It helps restore balance so that what you eat moves along the way it should, efficiently but calmly. And when your gut feels better, everything else starts to feel better too. There's a deep connection between digestion and mood, between the belly and the brain. When bloating and indigestion ease up, people often sleep better, have more energy, and even feel less anxious. That's the kind of benefit that doesn't always show up on a medical chart but makes a real difference in everyday life. For people managing conditions like acid reflux or irritable bowel, Pitanga tea can also offer gentle support. While it's not a cure, the anti-inflammatory and antioxidant effects may help calm irritated tissue in the digestive tract. And because it's caffeine-free and low in natural sugars, it fits easily into a digestive routine that avoids common triggers. Another overlooked benefit? Hydration. Seniors often forget to drink enough water, especially between meals. Sipping Pitanga tea gives the body fluid without sugar, dairy, or heavy flavors, which helps soften stool and support regular bowel movements. It becomes a hydration tool wrapped in digestive support. One thing worth noting is how Pitanga tea interacts with other habits. For example, drinking it after a heavier lunch can help move things along. Having it in the early evening may reduce nighttime bloating that keeps you from sleeping well. Some people even combine it with a short walk after sipping, giving digestion a double nudge. And for those dealing with bloating caused by stress or emotional tension, a very real trigger in older adults, this tea can be part of a relaxation ritual. Just the act of sitting down with a warm cup, breathing slowly, and allowing your body to reset can have a positive effect on your gut. It's not just the leaves, but the moment of peace that comes with them. When digestion works well, your body gets more from the food you eat. Nutrients are absorbed better. Blood sugar stays steadier. Energy lasts longer. And Pitanga tea, while subtle, plays a role in all of that. It's the kind of gentle helper that doesn't need to make noise to be powerful. As we continue this journey through the benefits of Pitanga leaf tea, we'll next take a look at something that often goes hand in hand with digestion. The ability to handle issues like constipation and diarrhea without relying on over-the-counter medications. This is where Pitanga tea shows its balancing effect, helping the body find its rhythm again, quietly, naturally, and with a lot of care. It's not always easy to talk about, but the truth is many people over 50 quietly struggle with constipation or sudden bouts of diarrhea, and sometimes both. One week, it feels like everything's stuck. The next, your stomach is racing. And while these shifts may seem random, they often come down to small imbalances in the digestive system. As the body ages, the intestines don't move quite as smoothly, and the signals that once kept everything regular can start to lose strength. Add in medications, lower fluid intake, or even stress, and you've got a recipe for gut frustration. That's why Pitanga leaf tea can be so helpful. It doesn't just support digestion in general, but it also seems to bring balance to both ends of the spectrum. In traditional practices, Pitanga tea has been used not only for bloating, but also to calm loose stools and relieve mild constipation. That might sound contradictory at first. How can one tea help with both? But what's special about Pitanga leaves is their gentle regulatory nature. They contain natural tannins, which have a mild astringent effect. This means they can help tighten up the gut lining slightly, reducing excess fluid that leads to diarrhea. At the same time, their calming action and light diuretic properties promote smoother bowel movements when the system is sluggish. In simpler terms, Pitanga tea doesn't force your body in one direction, it supports the natural rhythm your gut wants to follow. That's especially useful for seniors who often find that their digestion no longer follows a predictable pattern. One week might feel smooth, and the next can bring discomfort or urgency without warning. And unlike fiber powders or over-the-counter meds that can be harsh, this tea works slowly. It may take a few days of consistent sipping to notice the difference, but the benefit is that it doesn't come with cramps, gas, or sudden urges. It's more like tuning a quiet instrument. Little by little, things come back in harmony. Many older adults who've tried Pitanga tea daily have shared that their bathroom habits became more predictable with less discomfort and less worry. That's a big deal, especially when bowel issues start interfering with your sleep, social life, or peace of mind. The emotional stress of not knowing how your body will behave in public or while traveling can really take a toll, and small things like the choice to drink a cup of tea can restore a little confidence and control. Another helpful factor is the tea's anti-inflammatory action. Sometimes bowel irregularity stems from low-grade inflammation in the digestive tract. That might come from diet, medication side effects, or simply long-term wear and tear. The natural flavonoids in Pitanga leaves help calm that inflammation gently, giving your intestines a chance to recover and function more normally. Some early research also points to mild antibacterial properties in the leaves, which could help rebalance the gut flora when things feel off. While more studies are needed, especially in humans, the results so far are promising, and for those already managing gut issues, a safe, natural option is always welcome. And here's something else to consider. Hydration plays a huge role in bowel regularity. A lot of constipation in older adults comes from not drinking enough water. Pitanga tea, especially when consumed warm and unsweetened, supports hydration in a pleasant, easy-to-remember way. You're not forcing down plain water, you're enjoying a gentle herbal drink that just happens to help your system along. Seniors with blood pressure issues often worry about teas that act too strongly as laxatives or diuretics. But Pitanga seems to strike a balance. It supports elimination without depleting the body or overactivating the kidneys. That's why it's often used in mild cases, not as a strong fix, but as a background ally that works gradually. Some people even use Pitanga tea after travel or medication changes when their gut routine feels a little out of sync. It becomes part of the rebalancing process, a way to settle things without needing extra pills. It also pairs well with gentle movement like a morning walk or a light, fiber-rich breakfast. This tea supports the kind of slow, steady wellness that's ideal for older bodies. It doesn't demand quick results, but it does offer quiet, daily support. So whether your body tends to be too slow, too fast, or just unpredictable, Pitanga tea may help bring you back to a steadier rhythm. And that kind of gut harmony has ripple effects across your whole day. Coming up, we'll shift from the gut to the immune system. Because while digestion is where health begins, immunity is where it's protected, and Pitanga leaf tea has something special to offer there too. Every time you step outside, touch a doorknob, or chat with a grandchild who just came back from school, your immune system quietly goes to work. It's your body's internal defense team, fighting off viruses, bacteria, and anything that doesn't belong. But as the years pass, that defense team gets a little slower, a little less coordinated. Cuts heal more slowly, colds last longer, and it's easier to catch whatever's going around. That's why giving your immune system gentle, daily support matters more than ever after 50, and Pitanga leaf tea may offer just that. One of the most valuable compounds in Pitanga leaves is vitamin C, a well-known nutrient that helps stimulate the production of white blood cells, your body's frontline defenders. While many people turn to citrus fruits or supplements to get their daily vitamin C, Pitanga leaves contain this nutrient in a naturally absorbed form, along with other immune-supporting compounds like flavonoids and polyphenol. These antioxidants don't just help your skin or energy, they directly support immune function by reducing oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is like background noise in your body, constantly irritating your cells and slowing down their performance. When your immune cells are under that kind of stress, they don't respond as quickly or effectively to threats. Pitanga tea helps calm that noise, giving your immune system a clearer path to do its job. And it does so without overstimulating. That's important because many so-called immune boosters on the market today rev up the system too much, which can be dangerous, especially for people with autoimmune conditions or seniors with multiple medications. Pitanga works differently. It doesn't push your immune system to be hyperactive, it nourishes it. That's a big difference, and one reason this tea is gaining interest among people who prefer natural, low-risk ways to stay healthy. Another benefit? Pitanga tea may help shorten the duration of seasonal illnesses. In traditional use, it's often consumed at the first sign of a sore throat or fatigue. Not because it's a miracle cure, but because it helps the body respond more quickly. People who drink it regularly often say they feel fewer colds during the year, or when they do catch something, it's milder and passes faster. That's exactly the kind of quiet benefit that makes a difference for seniors who want to stay active, travel, or simply enjoy their routines without being slowed down by lingering viruses. It's also worth noting how inflammation and immunity are closely linked. When the immune system is overwhelmed, inflammation rises. And when inflammation is high, immunity weakens. Pitanga leaf tea, thanks to its anti-inflammatory properties, supports both sides of that equation. It helps reduce unnecessary inflammation while allowing immune cells to do their job more effectively. For seniors who already take medication for conditions like arthritis, hypertension, or even diabetes, adding one more capsule or supplement can feel overwhelming. But sipping a warm cup of tea after breakfast or in the afternoon, that's easy. It becomes part of a wellness rhythm, not a medical task. And when that tea is naturally supporting your immune system, it means fewer days stuck in bed and more time doing what you love. You might be wondering, how often do you need to drink Pitanga tea to see these benefits? Most traditional users sip it once or twice a day, especially during seasonal transitions when the body is more vulnerable. There's no need to overdo it. Like many gentle herbs, its strength lies in consistency, not volume. A single cup, day after day, can quietly build a stronger foundation. And here's something most people overlook: mental stress weakens the immune system too. The simple act of slowing down with a warm drink, letting your body rest while enjoying something natural and comforting, helps counter that stress. So it's not just what's in the tea, it's how the tea is used. It becomes a signal to your body that it's safe to relax, that you're taking care of yourself, that your health matters. As we look ahead to the next part, we'll go even deeper into the connection between Pitanga leaf tea and inflammation. Because while immunity is about staying protected, inflammation is often the hidden reason why pain, fatigue, and chronic illness linger, and this little leaf has something special to offer in that space too. Every year, when the weather shifts and colder months creep in, people over 50 often notice the same pattern: more sniffles, more sore throats, longer recovery times. Even something as simple as a light cough can linger for weeks instead of days. That's because, with age, the immune system doesn't respond as quickly or as strongly to viruses and bacteria. But instead of loading up on synthetic supplements or rushing for over-the-counter meds, many people are now turning to more natural ways to support their defenses, and Pitanga leaf tea, rich in vitamin C and other antioxidants, is quietly becoming a trusted ally. Vitamin C has long been linked to immune health, and while oranges often steal the spotlight, Pitanga leaves actually offer a plant-based source of this important nutrient with added benefits. You see, it's not just about getting vitamin C, it's about how your body absorbs and uses it. When combined with the flavonoids and polyphenol found in Pitanga leaves, vitamin C becomes part of a more complete immune-supporting team, working in sync to help your body stay strong during seasonal changes. These compounds also help protect the mucous membranes, the lining in your nose, throat, and lungs, which are your first line of defense against respiratory infections. When those membranes are healthy and less inflamed, it's harder for viruses to take hold. That's especially important for older adults whose respiratory systems may already be more sensitive due to past infections, environmental factors, or underlying conditions like asthma or COPD. Drinking Pitanga tea regularly during colder seasons can provide that extra layer of protection in a gentle, non-invasive way. Unlike some herbal remedies that are too strong or bitter, this tea is light, soothing, and easy to enjoy daily. And the warmth alone helps soothe dry throats and loosen mucus, making it a comforting addition even after an illness begins. Another subtle benefit comes from its anti-inflammatory compounds, which reduce the systemic inflammation that often makes colds and flus feel worse, things like body aches, headaches, and lingering fatigue. Seniors who incorporate Pitanga tea into their fall and winter routines often report feeling less dragged down when they do catch a bug, or even avoiding those bugs altogether. And because the tea is naturally caffeine-free, it won't interfere with sleep, something that's vital when your body is trying to recover. Rest and repair go hand in hand with immunity, and Pitanga supports both. Think about how many times a minor cold has turned into something worse simply because the body couldn't bounce back fast enough. That's where consistent daily support from something as simple as an herbal tea makes a quiet but real difference. It's also worth noting that vitamin C helps reduce oxidative stress throughout the body, not just in the immune system. That means fewer free radicals damaging cells and more energy left over for the things you actually want to do. Whether it's working in the garden, taking a short walk, or playing with the grandkids, having a stronger internal defense lets you stay active without constantly worrying about getting sick. Pitanga tea also pairs well with other immune-supporting habits, like eating more fruits and vegetables, staying hydrated, and getting sunlight when possible. It doesn't ask for a major lifestyle overhaul, it simply fits in alongside what you're already doing. And when combined with those choices, it enhances their effects. Even just the ritual of making tea can reduce stress, which we know is one of the major enemies of the immune system. Sitting down with a warm cup signals to the brain that it's okay to slow down, to breathe, to rest. That emotional calm supports physical resilience. As winter approaches and the immune system is asked to do more with less, Pitanga tea becomes a quiet partner in your wellness plan. It won't shout for attention, but it works steadily in the background, helping your body defend, recover, and thrive. Coming up next, we'll talk about inflammation more directly. Because behind joint pain, swelling, fatigue, and many chronic diseases is a quiet fire, and Pitanga leaves might just carry the water that helps put it out. If there's one word that shows up again and again in conversations about aging, it's inflammation. It's not just about swollen joints or red skin, it's a hidden force behind so many of the changes people over 50 start to feel. That morning stiffness that takes longer to shake off, the dull ache in the knees, or even the constant feeling of low energy, it all often traces back to chronic, low-grade inflammation simmering beneath the surface. And while most people reach for pain relievers or creams to manage the symptoms, few consider that a gentle cup of tea might help cool that fire from the inside out. That's where Pitanga leaf tea really starts to shine. These unassuming tropical leaves are naturally rich in compounds like flavonoids and tannins, both known for their anti-inflammatory power. When brewed into a tea, they work their way through the bloodstream, quietly helping to reduce inflammation in tissues throughout the body. What's important here is how they do it. Rather than acting like a blunt instrument shutting down inflammation completely like strong drugs do, Pitanga leaves support the body's ability to regulate inflammation on its own. It's like turning the volume down instead of cutting the wires. That's key for older adults who live with mild but persistent inflammation, whether from arthritis, old injuries, or simply the wear and tear that comes with time. Pitanga tea doesn't numb the body, it helps it recover balance. One of the ways it works is by blocking certain enzymes and pathways that trigger excessive inflammatory responses. These same pathways are often overactive in conditions like osteoarthritis, chronic fatigue, and even some forms of heart disease. And because the tea contains antioxidants as well, it also helps protect cells from oxidative stress, which tends to fuel inflammation further. Many seniors who drink Pitanga tea regularly report a slow but noticeable shift, less swelling in the hands or feet, fewer headaches, easier movement during the day. It's not dramatic, but it's steady. And that consistency is exactly what makes it so valuable. Inflammation often builds up quietly over years. Reversing it isn't about quick fixes, it's about creating an internal environment that stays calm and steady. Pitanga tea offers that environment in a way that's simple, sustainable, and pleasant. The warmth of the tea also plays a role. Heat itself helps increase circulation, and that alone can help reduce stiffness in joints or muscles. But when paired with anti-inflammatory compounds, the effect goes deeper. It doesn't just soothe the outside, it reaches into the tissues and cells that are overworked and undernourished. And because the tea is caffeine-free and gentle on the stomach, it can be enjoyed at any time of day without the side effects that sometimes come from anti-inflammatory pills like stomach upset or drowsiness. For those managing autoimmune conditions, it's especially comforting to know that Pitanga tea may help regulate inflammation without overstimulating the immune system. There's also growing interest in how chronic inflammation relates to mental health. Studies have shown that persistent inflammation can affect mood, memory, and even the risk of cognitive decline. While Pitanga tea isn't a cure for these concerns, its inflammation-reducing effects may offer subtle support for brain health too, another reason it's becoming part of a broader wellness routine for many seniors. What's most inspiring is that this tea doesn't come from a lab or require a prescription. It's made from leaves that have been used for generations, passed down through cultures that understood the power of nature before modern science caught up. And now, with more attention being paid to longevity and aging well, these traditions are proving to hold real value. You don't have to wait for a flare-up to start drinking Pitanga tea. In fact, the best time to begin is when things are calm, because that's when the tea can quietly do its best work, keeping inflammation at bay before it becomes a problem. As we move into the next section, we'll look at how this same anti-inflammatory power can lead to real, physical relief, especially when it comes to those everyday aches and pains that can make life feel slower, heavier, and harder than it needs to be. If you've ever woken up and felt that familiar stiffness in your knees, or maybe it takes you a few minutes each morning just to get your back to loosen up, you're not alone. For people over 50, joint pain becomes a quiet companion. It doesn't always shout, but it lingers in the hands, the hips, the shoulders, making everyday tasks feel a little heavier than they used to. And while many folks reach for over-the-counter pain relievers or try stretching routines, sometimes what the body needs is something deeper, something that works from the inside, gently and consistently. That's where Pitanga leaf tea has begun to surprise a lot of seniors who've given it a try. Many report that after a few weeks of drinking the tea daily, they start to notice less soreness in their joints and muscles, especially in the morning or after long walks. It's not a dramatic change overnight. It's more like waking up one day and realizing you didn't feel that usual tug in your shoulder or that sharp pinch in your knee when going up the stairs. This gentle relief is likely tied to the anti-inflammatory effects we discussed earlier. Inflammation is at the heart of many age-related joint issues. Even if you haven't been diagnosed with arthritis, your joints may still carry inflammation from decades of movement, strain, or past injuries. Pitanga leaves contain natural flavonoids and tannins that help reduce that swelling, not just on the surface but deep inside the tissue. These compounds support healthy blood flow to sore areas and help clear out the waste products that build up in overused muscles. Some early research suggests that pitanga may even have mild analgesic properties, meaning it might help with the sensation of pain itself, not just the cause behind it. That's an added bonus for seniors trying to stay active without becoming dependent on painkillers. And because the tea doesn't strain the liver or kidneys the way some medications can, it's often seen as a safer long-term companion. Seniors who enjoy gardening, walking clubs, or even dancing often say that pitanga tea makes it easier to bounce back after activity. Instead of needing a full day to recover from yard work, they feel ready again the next morning. And for those dealing with muscle tightness, whether from posture, stress, or old injuries, the tea seems to help the muscles relax more fully, especially when paired with warm compresses or gentle movement. The muscle support isn't limited to legs or arms either. Back stiffness, neck tension, and even general fatigue can be part of the picture, and Pitanga's antioxidant compounds work systemically. They don't target just one area, they go wherever the blood flows, helping the whole body ease out of tension. Another benefit is that this tea doesn't interfere with other pain treatments. So if someone is already doing physical therapy, using topical rubs, or taking prescribed medications, pitanga tea can simply join the routine, offering a natural layer of support. It's like giving your body an extra hand, quiet, steady, always showing up. The psychological side of pain matters too. Chronic discomfort wears down the spirit. It makes people less social, less mobile, and more prone to fatigue or sadness. But when the pain lifts, even just a little, it's like a window opens again. You feel more like yourself, more ready to go for a walk, visit friends, or just move around the house without dreading every step. That's the kind of difference pitanga tea can make, not by erasing all discomfort, but by making life feel more doable. Even if it means cutting down from 3 pain episodes a week to 1, or taking 5 minutes off your recovery time after a walk, that adds up. Week by week, you gain back more freedom. In a time when so many products promise big results and deliver little, it's refreshing to find something that doesn't overpromise, just quietly supports you, sip by sip. As we turn to the next part of our journey, we'll shift from muscles and joints to something many seniors think about daily: blood sugar. Because what we eat and how our body handles it affects not just how we feel after meals, but our long-term health in ways that go far beyond digestion. Blood sugar balance isn't just a concern for people with diabetes. For many folks over 50, even without a diagnosis, there's that familiar pattern: feeling tired or lightheaded after a meal, craving something sweet in the afternoon, or waking up in the morning with no energy despite a full night's rest. These may be signs that your body's having a harder time processing sugar the way it used to. Aging naturally affects how the body uses insulin, how efficiently it moves sugar into the cells, and how long it keeps energy stable after a meal. And while medications and dietary changes are common tools to help manage this, more people are turning to gentle, natural supports that don't interfere with daily life. That's where pitanga leaf tea starts to stand out in a big way. In traditional herbal practices and some recent studies, pitanga leaves have been shown to possess hypoglycemic properties. That is, they may help lower or stabilize blood sugar levels naturally, especially when consumed regularly. The exact way this works is still being researched, but early findings suggest that certain bioactive compounds in the leaves help the body improve insulin sensitivity and reduce sugar absorption from the gut. Think of it like smoothing out the sharp peaks and valleys that often come with blood sugar fluctuations. For seniors, this can mean fewer energy crashes, less shakiness after meals, and more steady focus throughout the day. And because the tea is caffeine-free and doesn't contain any sugars or artificial additives, it fits easily into a low glycemic lifestyle. Many seniors who drink Pitanga tea after meals report feeling more grounded, not jittery, not sleepy, just balanced. That kind of stable energy is essential not only for physical well-being, but also for brain function, mood, and decision-making. Blood sugar imbalances are often linked to mental fog, poor concentration, and even anxiety. So when tea helps regulate glucose, it's not just helping your body, it's supporting your entire day. Another important point is that Pitanga tea supports metabolic function without overstimulating the system. Some herbal remedies, especially those aimed at weight loss or blood sugar, can push the body too hard, leading to discomfort, digestive upset, or interactions with medication. Pitanga doesn't take that route. Instead, it works gently with your body, offering mild support over time. And for people with pre-diabetes or early signs of insulin resistance, that kind of early, consistent support can be one of the best tools available. Drinking Pitanga tea may also reduce post-meal sugar spikes, which are one of the most dangerous patterns for long-term metabolic health. When blood sugar rises too quickly and falls just as fast, it puts a strain on the pancreas and can increase inflammation. But when those spikes are blunted, your body works more efficiently and with less stress. Some people even choose to drink Pitanga tea 15 to 30 minutes before meals, using it as part of their natural preparation ritual to help the body handle food more effectively. And while large-scale studies are still on the horizon, the early results from small groups combined with generations of traditional use point toward a safe, supportive option for those seeking balance. Pitanga leaves may also support the liver and pancreas, organs that play a key role in processing sugar. A healthy liver helps clear excess glucose from the blood, while a healthy pancreas regulates insulin. The antioxidants in Pitanga tea may help reduce oxidative stress on these organs, giving them a little more breathing room to do their jobs well. One of the most common challenges seniors face with blood sugar is that it doesn't always show up clearly. You might feel fine in the morning, then suddenly fatigued or dizzy in the afternoon. These shifts make it hard to plan meals or stay active. But when Pitanga tea becomes part of your daily routine, it adds a layer of stability that smooths out those sudden drops and spikes. It's not a substitute for medication or lifestyle change, but it is a gentle tool you can lean on, especially when you're doing all the right things and still feel off balance. We've now looked at how Pitanga tea can help regulate sugar in the bloodstream. But what happens when the body starts holding onto too much fluid, leading to swelling or rising blood pressure? That's where Pitanga shows us yet another benefit, helping the body release what it no longer needs, and we'll explore that next. For many people over 50, managing blood sugar starts to feel like walking a tightrope. One moment you feel just fine, and the next, a small snack or skipped meal sends your energy crashing. It's not just frustrating, it's exhausting. And the worst part? You may be doing everything right. Cutting back on sugar, eating more vegetables, walking daily, yet still struggling with blood sugar swings. That's why it's so important to build habits that don't just react to the problem, but gently support your body's ability to stay balanced. One of those habits could be as simple as sipping Pitanga leaf tea once a day. You've already heard how this tea contains compounds that may help regulate blood sugar. But what's really valuable is how it fits into real life. There's no complicated timing, no pills to remember, and no need to give up your favorite foods. Just a warm, calming cup that becomes part of your day. Something that works in the background while you go about your routine. Many seniors who drink Pitanga tea regularly find that their mid-afternoon slumps start to fade. They don't get those strong sugar cravings after meals. And when they do check their glucose levels, the spikes aren't as steep as they used to be. That's because the natural compounds in Pitanga leaves appear to help the body become more sensitive to insulin. That means your cells respond better to the insulin you already produce, making it easier to move sugar out of the blood and into the muscles where it can be used for energy. This isn't just helpful for people with diabetes. It's valuable for anyone over 50 who's noticed their metabolism slowing down. And it's not just about the leaves. It's also about the habit itself. Taking a moment each day to brew and enjoy the tea creates a pause. A natural break that helps you reflect on how your body feels. It becomes easier to notice how your body reacts to meals, how certain foods affect your energy, and how your mood shifts throughout the day. That kind of awareness is powerful. It lets you make better choices without feeling restricted. Drinking Pitanga tea also encourages hydration, which is often overlooked in glucose control. When the body is even mildly dehydrated, blood sugar becomes harder to manage. The kidneys have to work harder, and the sugar becomes more concentrated in the bloodstream. A warm, unsweetened herbal tea like Pitanga helps keep things moving, not just digestion but cellular function too, and it supports other good habits naturally. For example, many people drink their tea before a short walk, which helps further reduce post-meal sugar levels. Others pair it with a healthy snack, turning the moment into a quiet self-care ritual. Pitanga tea also seems to help with sugar cravings. That slightly earthy, slightly sweet taste satisfies the senses in a way that makes you less likely to reach for processed snacks. Over time, that can reduce overall sugar intake, not by willpower, but by gentle substitution. It's like swapping a stress cookie for a calming tea, and your body thanks you for it. For seniors managing medications, it's reassuring to know that Pitanga tea has shown a low risk of interactions, especially when consumed in moderate amounts. Still, it's wise to check with a healthcare provider before adding anything new, especially if you're taking insulin or blood sugar-lowering drugs. But for most people, 1 or 2 cups a day is well within the safe range and brings real benefits with very little risk. What makes this tea so powerful isn't just what it does, but how it fits into your life. It doesn't demand that you change everything. It simply offers a steady hand in the background. And over time, those little moments of support add up. As we move forward, let's shift our focus from sugar to something just as critical, your blood pressure. Because for many older adults, the quiet buildup of fluid and tension in the body creates pressure in more ways than one, and Pitanga may have something gentle and helpful to offer there too. If you've ever felt a bit puffier than usual, maybe your ankles are swollen by the end of the day, or your rings feel tighter than they did last week, you might be holding onto excess fluid. And for many people over 50, that fluid retention isn't just uncomfortable, it can also be a sign that your blood pressure is quietly creeping up. High blood pressure, often called the silent killer, doesn't always come with obvious symptoms, but it places extra strain on your heart, kidneys, and blood vessels. Over time, that strain can lead to serious health problems. The good news is, one of the simplest ways to support healthy blood pressure is to gently help your body release excess fluid, and that's where Pitanga leaf tea quietly steps in. You see, Pitanga leaves have a mild diuretic effect. That means they naturally support the kidneys in flushing out water and sodium through urine. It's not like a prescription diuretic that forces the body to release fluid quickly. Those can sometimes lead to dizziness or mineral imbalances. Pitanga tea works more like a slow, steady nudge. Sip by sip, it helps your body restore its fluid balance, reduce internal pressure, and feel lighter throughout the day. This kind of gentle fluid management is especially helpful for older adults whose kidney function may not be as sharp as it once was. Instead of overloading the system, Pitanga tea offers a plant-based, easy-to-digest way to help things along. Many seniors who drink it regularly say they feel less bloated, notice their socks leave fewer marks on their legs, or even find that they sleep more comfortably at night without that heavy, swollen feeling in the limbs. It's also worth noting that the diuretic action of Pitanga tea may help support heart health by reducing the volume of fluid the heart has to pump. Less volume means less resistance, and that helps take pressure off your arteries. This effect, combined with the tea's natural anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties, creates a supportive environment for the cardiovascular system. But here's something equally important. Pitanga tea does all of this without stimulating the body. There's no caffeine to raise your heart rate or interfere with sleep. It's the kind of support that works quietly in the background while you go about your day. For people who are already on blood pressure medication, Pitanga tea isn't meant to replace those treatments, but it can complement them. By helping manage fluid retention and supporting kidney function naturally, the tea becomes part of a bigger picture of care, one that includes diet, movement, stress management, and restful sleep. And because hydration is so essential to managing blood pressure, drinking Pitanga tea is a double win. It supports fluid release while also encouraging you to stay hydrated. That balance is critical. You don't want to dry yourself out, but you do want to keep your system moving. Pitanga helps do both in a way that feels sustainable and calming. For anyone watching their salt intake, Pitanga tea also fits beautifully. It contains no sodium and may help offset the effects of a high-salt meal. While it's no substitute for a low-sodium diet, it can certainly be a part of the recovery process when things get off track, like after a salty dinner or a few days of eating on the go. What many seniors appreciate is that this tea doesn't ask much. It doesn't require you to overhaul your routine, track numbers constantly, or give up your favorite foods. It just becomes a daily moment, a quiet ritual with big ripple effects. As we head into the next part of this journey, we'll look more closely at another benefit tied to this one: how Pitanga tea helps the body flush out not just excess water, but also the toxins that build up over time, and how that cleansing effect may leave you feeling clearer, lighter, and more energized from the inside out. You may not always see it, but your body is working every single day to filter, clean, and flush out what it doesn't need. From the moment you eat your first bite in the morning to the last sip of water at night, your liver, kidneys, skin, and digestive system are all quietly working to process what's helpful and get rid of the rest. But with age, those systems sometimes get a bit slower. Your kidneys might not clear fluids as quickly, your liver might not filter as efficiently, and your cells may start holding on to more waste than they used to. That's why many people over 50 begin to feel heavier on the inside, more sluggish, more swollen, and sometimes just off. And while some turn to detox juices or harsh cleanses that make big promises, these often do more harm than good, especially for older adults. What your body needs isn't shock treatment, it's consistent, gentle support. That's where Pitanga leaf tea comes in. This tea, rich in natural antioxidants and mild diuretic compounds, doesn't force the body into a quick flush. Instead, it supports the organs that are already built for the job, your liver and kidneys, helping them do what they're meant to do, just a little more easily. The tea's light diuretic effect encourages your kidneys to release excess water and sodium. This helps reduce water retention, which is why many people who drink it daily notice less puffiness in their hands, legs, or face. But it also helps move toxins, those byproducts from food, medication, stress, or even environmental exposure, out of your system more efficiently. And the antioxidants in Pitanga leaves add another layer of support. They help reduce the oxidative stress that slows down detoxification. In simpler terms, they protect the cells that are working hard to keep your system clean. It's like oiling the gears of a machine that's starting to squeak. Over time, this adds up to feeling lighter, not just in your belly or joints, but in your mind too. Because when your body isn't bogged down by buildup, you tend to think clearer, move easier, and sleep more deeply. That foggy feeling after a heavy meal or the mid-afternoon slump. For many people, those start to fade once the body is back in its natural rhythm. Some even report that their skin looks brighter after a few weeks of regular Pitanga tea use, another sign that the body's internal filters are doing a better job. Of course, no tea is a magic solution. Pitanga doesn't override a diet full of processed foods or make up for missed sleep. But it supports the daily work of cleansing in a quiet, sustainable way. For seniors who are already managing chronic conditions or taking medications that put extra strain on the liver or kidneys, this kind of gentle support becomes even more valuable. And because it's caffeine-free and has a soothing flavor, it's something you can look forward to, not dread. Drinking it in the morning may help jumpstart circulation and flush out what the body processed overnight. Drinking it in the evening can help calm the system while still encouraging natural release. Either way, it becomes part of a slow, steady wellness routine, one that respects the pace of the body as it ages. Some people pair their tea with a short walk, others with quiet time on the porch, or even a bit of stretching. All of these actions help the body release and reset. Pitanga tea simply gives that process a friendly nudge. And if you've ever felt that your body is holding on to things it doesn't need, whether that's water, tension, or toxic buildup, then this simple leaf might be one of the most underrated supports you've never tried. In the next section, we'll take a closer look at safety. Because while Pitanga tea has many benefits, it's important to understand how it fits into your daily routine without causing unintended effects, especially for those on medications or managing chronic health conditions. When you hear about a natural tea that may help with digestion, inflammation, blood sugar, and even blood pressure, it's only natural to wonder, is it safe to drink every day? Especially if you're over 50 and managing other health conditions or taking medication, safety isn't just a side note, it's the main concern. And with Pitanga leaf tea, that question deserves a thoughtful, honest look. The good news is, Pitanga leaves have been used for generations in traditional medicine, particularly in parts of Brazil and the Caribbean. Families have brewed these leaves as a daily tea for everything from gut relief to calming fever. And so far, modern research hasn't raised any major red flags. In fact, early studies on both animals and small human groups suggest that Pitanga leaf tea is generally well tolerated, with few reported side effects when consumed in moderate amounts. That said, moderation is key, just like with any herbal remedy. For most people, 1 to 2 cups per day is considered safe and gentle enough to be part of a wellness routine. But just because something is natural doesn't mean it can't interact with your body in complex ways. For instance, if you're currently taking medications to lower blood sugar or blood pressure, adding Pitanga tea might strengthen those effects. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but it does mean you should keep an eye on how you feel and ideally talk with your doctor before making Pitanga tea a daily habit. The tea's mild diuretic effect may also increase how often you urinate, especially if you're already on medications that affect fluid levels. If you notice you're going to the bathroom more often or feeling lightheaded when standing up, that's worth noting and adjusting accordingly. On the flip side, many seniors find that the tea helps reduce bloating and heaviness without any strain on the kidneys or liver, unlike some stronger supplements or medications. And because it's caffeine-free and doesn't contain added sugars or artificial ingredients, it's a smart choice compared to many store-bought drinks. The flavor is soft and earthy, not overpowering. That makes it easier to enjoy regularly without needing to add sweeteners or creamers that could impact glucose or calorie intake. Still, there are a few groups who may want to be extra cautious. Pregnant or breastfeeding women, for example, should avoid herbal teas that haven't been widely studied in those groups, Pitanga included. And anyone with a known allergy to the Myrtaceae plant family, which includes eucalyptus and guava, should avoid it altogether. If you're undergoing treatment for serious liver or kidney disease, or if you're on a blood-thinning medication, be sure to check with your physician first, since even gentle herbs can sometimes affect how medications are absorbed or processed. That said, the vast majority of older adults who try Pitanga tea experience no side effects at all. In fact, most find that their digestion feels a little easier, their sleep improves, or they simply enjoy the calming moment of a warm, natural drink. It's not about expecting dramatic change overnight, it's about supporting your body consistently in a way that works with your lifestyle. That's part of why Pitanga tea feels so approachable. It doesn't require a detox plan, it doesn't make big promises, and it doesn't come with a long list of warnings. It simply offers steady, daily support across multiple areas of health. And for older adults who are already balancing complex routines, meals, medications, appointments, rest, having something that's simple, pleasant, and effective can make a big difference. So if you're curious about Pitanga tea, start small. Brew 1 cup, drink it slowly, and listen to how your body responds. That's the best way to introduce anything new, whether it's food, exercise, or in this case, a tropical leaf with a surprisingly long list of benefits. Coming up next, we'll talk about something many people overlook: the timing of your tea. Because when you drink, Pitanga tea can matter almost as much as how much you drink. And there are a few daily moments when your body may be more ready to absorb and benefit from it. For anyone over 50 trying to stay healthy, it's not just what you do, it's when you do it. That includes what you eat, when you move, and yes, even when you drink something as gentle as Pitanga leaf tea. Timing may sound like a small detail, but it can actually make a big difference in how your body absorbs nutrients, manages energy, and stays balanced throughout the day. Pitanga tea, with its light antioxidant load and natural anti-inflammatory compounds, can be used in different ways depending on what your body needs. The key is to make it part of your rhythm, not something random but something intentional. Let's start with the morning. Drinking Pitanga tea after breakfast is one of the best ways to begin. Why? Because your body has been fasting all night, and your digestive system is just waking up. That's a perfect time to introduce something warm, hydrating, and non-caffeinated. Pitanga tea won't spike your heart rate like coffee, but it does help wake up your digestion. It gently stimulates the production of bile and digestive enzymes, which makes your breakfast easier to break down and absorb. Seniors who drink it in the morning often say they feel less bloated throughout the day and more regular in their digestion. And because Pitanga leaves have a mild diuretic effect, morning is the ideal time to encourage the body to flush out excess fluids without disrupting your evening rest. Another great time to enjoy Pitanga tea is mid-afternoon, especially if you're someone who often feels that familiar dip in energy. Instead of reaching for a sugary snack or second cup of coffee, this tea can offer light support without overstimulation. The vitamin C and flavonoids work gently to give you mental clarity, while helping reduce that sluggish, heavy feeling that often shows up after lunch. For people managing blood sugar, this is also the time when a post-meal spike may start to crash. Drinking Pitanga tea can help cushion that swing and support a more stable energy curve for the rest of the day. Evening is another option, but it depends on your personal response. Because Pitanga tea is caffeine-free and calming, it's perfectly safe to drink after dinner or before bed. Some older adults even say that their sleep quality improved slightly after adding Pitanga tea to their nighttime routine, likely because of its anti-inflammatory properties that ease joint pain or digestive discomfort that can interrupt sleep. However, if you're especially sensitive to liquids before bed or need to limit bathroom trips at night, you may want to enjoy your last cup of the day no later than 2 hours before sleeping. Timing also depends on what benefit you're aiming for. If your focus is blood sugar control, drinking Pitanga tea shortly after your largest meal, usually lunch or dinner, may help the most. If you're trying to reduce inflammation or swelling, early morning is ideal. And if your goal is to create a consistent routine, anchoring your tea time to the same part of your day, like always after breakfast, helps build the habit and ensures you don't forget. Some people split their intake, 1 cup in the morning and 1 in the late afternoon, and that works beautifully too. This approach gives you ongoing support without overloading your system. Remember, Pitanga tea is not about instant fixes. The strength lies in gentle, daily consistency. Like brushing your teeth or stretching your legs, the power is in showing up for your body in small ways, every day. One last tip, try pairing your tea with something else you enjoy, like a quiet walk, reading on the porch, or journaling. This turns it from a health task into a calming ritual. And when something feels good, you're more likely to keep doing it, which means you'll keep receiving the benefits sip by sip. Now that we've looked at the timing and how to make this tea a part of your daily life, let's turn to something even more holistic, how Pitanga tea can work alongside other healthy habits you're already building. Because no one habit works in isolation, and when you combine simple, smart choices together, the effects can be much greater than you'd expect. By now, it's clear that Pitanga leaf tea brings a lot to the table: gentle support for digestion, inflammation, blood sugar, immunity, and even hydration. But here's something that really matters for anyone over 50. No single habit works in isolation. The real magic happens when small, consistent choices come together. That's where Pitanga tea can play an even bigger role, not as a miracle fix, but as a powerful companion to the other healthy habits you're already trying to build or maintain. Take movement, for example. Whether it's a 20-minute walk after breakfast, some gentle stretching before bed, or even light gardening in the afternoon, when paired with Pitanga tea, these moments of activity are better supported. Why? Because the tea helps reduce the inflammation and stiffness that often discourage people from moving in the first place. Imagine this: you drink your tea mid-morning, your joints feel just a little looser, and suddenly that walk feels doable instead of daunting. That's the kind of reinforcement that helps build momentum over time. The same applies to diet. Let's say you're already trying to eat more whole foods, maybe swapping white rice for quinoa or cutting back on sugar. Drinking Pitanga tea, especially with meals, can support better digestion and help regulate post-meal blood sugar. That means fewer crashes, fewer cravings, and more satisfaction from what you eat. It's a quiet form of support that reinforces your efforts without demanding more willpower. And then there's sleep. Many older adults struggle with falling asleep or staying asleep through the night. Inflammation, poor digestion, or even nighttime bloating can all play a role. When Pitanga tea becomes part of your early evening routine, it helps calm the system, not just physically, but emotionally too. The act of holding a warm cup, slowing your breath, and allowing your body to wind down is a ritual in itself. Over time, that calming pattern signals to your brain that it's time to rest. Add that to your efforts of turning off screens earlier or keeping a regular bedtime, and now you've got a system that works in harmony. Even mental health benefits from this kind of daily rhythm. Seniors often face stress from caregiving, health concerns, or just the changes that come with aging. A predictable, pleasant ritual like tea drinking gives the day some structure. It's something you can look forward to. And when combined with simple breathing exercises, gentle journaling, or talking to a loved one, it becomes a form of self-care that costs almost nothing but pays back in peace of mind. Hydration is another area where Pitanga tea helps reinforce good habits. Many older adults simply don't drink enough water. But when hydration comes in the form of something flavorful, warm, and enjoyable, it gets easier. And staying hydrated improves everything from skin health to kidney function to energy levels. So while it may seem small, that daily tea is actually part of a much bigger web of wellness. The best part? Pitanga tea doesn't require perfection. You don't need to drink it at the exact same time each day or follow a complicated routine. You just need to stay consistent. Whether it's 1 cup or 2, morning or evening, alone or shared with someone, it's the repetition that creates the result. And here's something inspiring to remember: when you stack one small healthy habit on top of another, you create something stronger than either could be alone. Drinking Pitanga tea might make movement feel better. That movement might lead to better sleep. Better sleep might make it easier to eat well. And eating well might reinforce your energy to keep going. It becomes a loop, a gentle, supportive cycle that helps you feel more like yourself again. So don't think of this tea as the star of the show. Think of it as the music in the background, the thing that keeps everything else flowing. It's simple, it's affordable, it's rooted in tradition, and now it's backed by growing science. Most of all, it's something you can do with ease, every day, no matter your starting point. Now that we've walked through the many ways Pitanga tea supports the aging body, let's bring it all together, because behind all these benefits is a bigger message. Your health isn't defined by age, it's shaped by the habits you choose each day. And sometimes the smallest ones make the biggest difference. Sometimes the most powerful changes come not from doing more, but from doing one small thing with care. Over the past hour, you've taken a quiet journey into the world of Pitanga leaf tea, a journey not about chasing miracles, but about rediscovering what steady, gentle care can look like in your daily life. And maybe in listening, you found pieces of your own story, moments of discomfort, small victories, or just the desire to feel a little more balanced in your body. Aging isn't about decline, it's about learning to listen more closely, to notice the rhythms that matter, and to care for yourself in ways that are simple and lasting. Something as humble as a warm cup of herbal tea might seem too small to matter, but day after day, it becomes a signal, a reminder that your health is still in your hands. Imagine starting your morning not with a rush, but with stillness. A quiet moment by the window, a warm mug in your hands, your favorite healthy breakfast waiting nearby, and your body saying thank you in the only way it knows how, by feeling just a little better than yesterday. That's how habits form, not through pressure, but through presence. One woman once told me she began her Pitanga tea ritual after retiring, just to fill the silence. Now, years later, she says it filled more than time. It helped her reconnect with herself, with her breath, and with a softness she thought she had lost. That's the real gift of a practice like this. And whether you try this tea or not, I hope what stays with you is the permission to go slow. To choose habits that match your season of life. To find comfort in rituals that don't ask for perfection. Because sometimes all your body needs is one calm moment repeated. And in that moment, whether it's in a gentle walk, a healthy breakfast, or a sip of herbal tea, you remind yourself you are enough just as you are, and healing doesn't have to shout to be real.